Today's broadcast is produced entirely by the students at Southeast High School in partnership with Kaiser University.
Live from Southeast High School, Bradenton, Florida. SCTV High School Sports presents Southeast Seminole basketball. Tonight, the Southeast Seminoles take on longtime rivals, the Manatee Hurricanes, for this regular season contest. I'm Dwight Gilmer, and sitting next to me is my partner, Greg Alexandria. We'll take you through all the highlights, all the play-by-play, and all the details for tonight's game.
All right, Dwight.
Just get ready to get started.
Looks as if the working on a couple of different things as far as the team this year. The records for both teams early in the season, 3-0 for Manatee. What's the Seminoles look like?
Seminoles are 1-1. Lost a tough contest Friday night against the Bayshore Bruins by 1 point at the buzzer, but beat district rivals last Tuesday, I believe it was, Dunedin. So they're 1-1 in district. This is our third contest. Jumping at center is number 10, Kevin Banks of Southeast, and number 23, Jermaine Graham, both seniors.
All right, Manatee wins the tip, goes in for a layup. I think that defense was played well by number 23. Is that Big Cam?
That is Cam Green. Junior Cameron Green, who's a standout star in last year's junior varsity team, moved up to the varsity team. You know, our five starters got a lot of experience. Banks underneath, double pumps, missed the shot.
Sometimes when you have the cameras out there and you got a big crowd and a rivalry, because we got to think, traditionally, this is the Manatee County rivalry.
It has been.
Southeast.
And you know something, Greg, it's kind of revitalized because Manatee's program's been down for a while, and the last couple of years under Coach Laus, they've really been playing some pretty good basketball.
You can look, they're disciplined, they're getting into their sets pretty easy, looking to take advantage of any opening, and that's what happens when you have a junior, senior Latin lineup.
Backcourt on the Hurricanes, be Southeast ball side out. Ball is inbound, it's to number 3, A.D. Savage. Alex Teller has the ball on the wing. Looks like the Hurricanes are what, a 1-3-1 or a 3-2?
Looks like they're trying to get a 3-2 where they're extending it a little bit.
You know the 3-2 is the hot zone now. It used to be everybody was playing 2-3, but now lately everybody wants to play 3-2.
Well, you got to look at how the game has changed. Usually it was pounded inside. Now we're making sure that people get an opportunity to see some of those bigger wings like Alex Taylor posting up on that high wing, not posting up inside, trying to get, and there he is on cue on the inside, one of the biggest players for the Seminoles, getting the first 2 of the game.
He's got a nice game. He's long, he's athletic, he can get off the floor. We're going to really have to make sure we keep an eye on him tonight.
Moving the ball well, swinging it back and forth. They got a good look, just didn't knock down that shot.
One thing Seminoles have been doing really good so far this year is pushing the ball in transition, looking for each other, and making sure we knock down open shots. There's a 3 by number 4, Cedric Brooks, last year's leading scorer and MVP.
How's Cedric doing for you guys this year?
So far, he's been really good. He, last Friday night against Bayshore, he had 21 points, hit, I believe, either 3 or 4 3-pointers. He's been showing a lot of leadership. He's been really vocal. Second effort by Kevin Banks. Kevin's got to get that ball above the blue. We talk to him all the time about double pumping in traffic. He's got to jump as high as he can and put that ball up on the glass.
One of the things that you can look at is he's worried about making that mistake and getting your shot block. You're going to get your shot block playing basketball, so you can't worry about that. If you extend and go fully up with the explosion, more than likely the referee is going to give you an opportunity to get to the line, and that's where you want to make some of your points.
Absolutely.
That's 4 rebounds already for Big Cam. When you got your big rebounding like that on the defensive end, sometimes you want to see them get rewarded.
Now, I will say the thing about this year, too, this team as well, is they do a good job getting everybody involved. They really do look for each other. There's a turnover there, a little bit too unselfish. Wouldn't mind seeing Seth take that shot. Just steal by Seth Brooks. He's out on the break, one-on-one with the foul. That's a foul on number 1, Kevin Etienne from Manatee. Seth Brooks will be going to the line for 2.
Now, the one thing Seth did when he stole the ball, he looked ahead, gave a quick pause to see if any of his teammates were ahead. And that's something that is really improved and picked up from his game. Typically, being that he's been on varsity the last couple of years, he would have had his head down and just dribbled in the whole way. But to look up and survey the land, that shows what a senior can do in his senior season.
I'm going to tell you, Greg, something that we really going to have to pay attention to tonight. In Friday night's game, we missed 18 free throws. I know Coach Watkins did a real good job yesterday talking to the kids and pounding the importance of making sure that we hit free throws. You know, said we're 1 for 2 in that particular possession. We got to make sure we knock down free throws if we want to be a good team this year.
Now, one thing that
basketball
traditionalists will let you know is when you're playing, and that's Big Cam taking the ball in strong, getting his own rebound, eating the glass up. Second effort gets us another 2 points. 8-0 lead, spreading out in the first quarter for the Seminoles. Opportunity to knock an undefeated team off their perch, especially if it's a cross-town rival. That's got to feel pretty good.
I know the guys, talking to a lot of the guys today, they were really energized for this game. Going 4-22 last year, everybody beat us just about. So this year we really want to be focused and coming into every game trying to play as hard as they possibly can. So they were really salty about the game on Friday night.
You made a great point about how important foul shooting is. It's a lost art when you have some players not really focusing on that. They're focusing on their three-point percentage more than their foul shots. In a game that comes down to the wire, let's make 3 more of those foul shots, and then you don't have an opportunity for Bayshore to win in their own gym.
Absolutely.
And that's a district game, so that could knock out that could bring up a lot of problems towards the end of the season. But hopefully, it's early enough that they got an opportunity to learn.
And that's a 3-pointer by number 3, Carter Benninghouse. Nice looking shot. We gotta make sure we're getting out there and put a hand up, contesting that shot.
One thing about Carter Benninghouse is he isn't scared. He took that shot that was an air ball earlier in the quarter and was able to knock one down.
Good penetration with this. Alex Seller gets our 3 back. Great job by Alex.
All right, referee Amy Bush is calling a 30-second timeout from the coach. Coach has got a quick timeout, wants to readjust a few things.
I tell you, AD did a really good job there drawing the defense in on that zone. You know, like I know, when they're playing at 3-2, you got to attack that lead guy. You got to make sure that you're getting in that gap. She did a good job turning that corner, drawing in that wing defender, and getting kicked out to Alex for the knockdown tray.
When you have an opportunity to attack that gap and affect the other team with your gravity, you really can open up things for your teammate. Not necessarily drawn up for you to score, but your team is going to have a great opportunity to score just by you doing the right things, and that's that driving kick.
Got a couple substitutions for Seminoles. Skylar Negretti is in for AD Savage at point guard. Luke Paul's in for Kevin Banks. Looks like the Seminoles fall back into a 20, 21, 23 type defense. If I know Coach Watkins like I do, they're going to be trapping out of this defense. They don't normally just sit back. There's the sideline.
And there's the trap.
We got to make sure we
good
cover
recovery.
That good hands.
Recovery. Got to get on the ground. 50-50 balls.
Great job there. Great job there forcing the turnover. Good passing and the finish. Good job. Good job.
That was actually a very heady play. Really impressed with Seth right now.
He's playing well.
And the big man takes the charge.
I got to tell you, man, I've been ribbing Cam the last couple of games, but he has taken the charge in every one of our games so far this year.
Nice.
He's done a good job of not swatting like he used to in the past, playing position defense and getting that big body in front of people.
That reminds me of another former Seminole you would have coached a couple of years ago that's actually in the gym, Jeremiah Jones.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Jeremiah Jones liked to put his body on the line and take a few charges himself.
Yes, sir. One of the best at making sure that he put his body in front of his defender. Good job breaking the press, attacking it, sets to the basket, and one.
That's showing a little bit of basketball IQ. That's what you want from your senior leaders.
Coach Watkins has developed, and I don't know where he got it from, but he developed this out-of-bounds play that so far I have not seen anybody man as trappers with us, and it gives us an automatic break. The guys did a great job there, putting the pressure, keeping the pressure on the defense, drawing, and getting the bucket. Another and one for Said.
Finishes off the traditional three-point play. We call that 1-3 the hard way. Now he's extending this press out, which I think is a really smart idea. When you got an undefeated team and they're down, their coach is really gonna, during that timeout, make some adjustments, saying you got to make those adjustments too to keep them uncomfortable.
Yes, sir. It's going to be interesting to see tonight how well we stay in front of the ball. We didn't do a good job Friday night cutting off the ball handlers and keeping them out of the paint. So far tonight, we've done a much better job. Good sideline trap, and we get the steal. Way to be smart. Oh, that's a tough call.
That is it's a 50-50. Could have gone either way.
He's in the air, but as you know, he's got to establish himself in the front court before he can receive that pass.
You'll hear a lot of people in the stands that are unhappy with that call, but it actually is the right call by the referees.
Looks like we're back into the man-to-man. Pretty interesting looking set by the Hurricanes. Big Paul's got to do a better job moving his feet.
Now, number 12, that's Luke Paul. What grade is he in, Coach?
Luke's a junior.
Okay. One thing that Luke did was he fought through that screen very hard, but sometimes when you fight through 2 or 3 screens, by the time you get to your man, you're kind of worn out, and you got to really fight and persevere to get through that. So, Skyler in the open court is able to split.
Good defense by the man.
Clean play.
Hurricanes, you got to get back in transition.
Nice give and go.
Nice give and go.
Ran well by the Hurricanes.
That's number 2, Destin Falls. He's a transfer from St. Stephen's. The Hurricanes have got a few transfers this year. Guys that's played in some other high school programs around the county. So it's going to be interesting to see how well they gel.
So Destin coming in as a junior transfer, having that whole thing set up was number 12, Brian Keene, who's a senior.
Pretty strong quarter thus far for the Seminoles.
And he's sitting down now.
Doing a good job moving the ball. Great ball movement. Let's see if we can get it cash in. Air ball by Said.
Maybe tip. Referee didn't see that.
Well, fortunately, we were able to retain possession of the ball. I would like to see him catch that ball and put it on the drive. It was a little bit spaced on the defense. Alex underneath. Got a holding call under the bottom. It's a tough play to get the first place to put the ball in. He didn't really have much room to go.
There was nowhere to go on that one, so luckily we were able to get that foul called. You didn't really give your teammate a lot of chance for success. Percentage wasn't as high.
That's number 2 on number 22, Malcolm Claremont. This jumper there by Skyler. Rebound to the Hurricanes. Good job, Luke Paul. Luke's got to have about three steals or so already.
It's a great pass ahead, but that's negated by the charge that was taken from number 23 for the Hurricanes, Jermaine Abraham.
That's just a good play defensively. He got back, he put his body in position, took it right in the chest. As much as I would like to debate the call, that actually was the right call.
Now what you'd like to see on that one is a pass back, a little give and go action, just like we saw the Hurricanes.
I agree.
A few plays earlier.
It's a good block shot by Kevin Banks. He got a fast break. Good job, finish, Alex. Kevin Banks got the rebound. Another rebound by Luke Paul. Jumper by Said Banks. Cash spin. Seminoles put forth a lot of effort in that possession. 2 or 3 offensive rebounds. You do that, you're going to
The
number
good
the
thing
score
is
points.
that when you see that type of effort in the first quarter, you're seeing a complete game. Now, you want to see this translate for 3 more quarters, but your leading scorer is your emotional leader, your senior, that's Seth Brooks. Got a lot to play for this year.
Great defense by Alex Taylor. Cut off the baseline, rejected the shot. Doesn't get much better than
Didn't reestablish
that.
himself inside before he got the ball back.
Doesn't get much better than that. That's almost picture perfect defense, way to close out the baseline and block the shot. 19-5 game. Seminoles in full control of the first quarter.
With 30 seconds left,
Great rebound by Kevin Banks.
one of the things you want to maintain is not to get sloppy. Alex Taylor getting it to your point guard, Skylar getting a pass.
Seth Brooks is in a rhythm right now.
Seth Brooks, who at this point in the game is in fuego.
That's
Seminole
already 13
defense
points.
again kicking in, extending the lead. And we're going to count that basket.
Call it goaltending.
Goaltending. Can't slap it off the backboard the way that it did.
That's a 13-point quarter for Seth Brooks. He's really smoking right now. Like you said earlier, he's the emotional leader. He's our returning senior, our MVP. He's showing why he was MVP last year.
You keep him in the game, make sure that he continues to stay hot and continues to really just focus on getting his teammates involved. Nothing that he's done tonight has been forced. So when you get somebody who's got 13 points in a quarter, you may think that they're forcing, putting shots up that they don't need to. Not today. Today's effort has been very much in control and in the flow.
Great for first quarter by the Seminoles, 24-5. They was in full control, rebounded the ball well, passed it to the open man, applied a lot of pressure defensively. I know Coach Watkins is probably over there going through the things that we needed to do better, but I don't know how much he's going to have to talk about for that first quarter.
In that type of huddle in between quarters, when you've got such lead, you're looking at a 19-point lead. One of the things you want to focus on is just keeping the intensity up. At this point, offense, you're getting anything you want. So defensively is where you really want to put your foot down. Continue to show that effort. Make the extra pass when you guys are in your offense, and the quarter should maintain. You don't want to let down before the start of halftime.
And here's what I know about Coach Lauster. He's a good coach, comes out of Orlando. His kids are not going to quit. So I know he's in that huddle right now talking to them about what they can do to kind of get back in this thing one possession at a time. So Seminoles are going to have to make sure they continue to play. They're going to continue to focus on what they did to get the lead and maintain that. It's going to be interesting, though.
Manatee's 3-0 for a reason. They've had a couple of down years, and now they're on the upswing. They've got seniors on this team, so they're not going to roll over and give up. And all of their games have been close, within 9 or 10 points, except for the game against Hardy that was last Friday, where they beat them by 21.
And we all know what that Hardy score is all about. So we got some more subs in the game. A.D. Savage is back in the game. Damian Washington's in the game. One of our no football players. He's actually been playing very well basketball-wise so far on the season. Good post up. And I'm going to tell you something, he has an uncanny ability of scoring. Right on cue.
It looked like he was in no man's land for a second, was able to pull one out.
He's one of those players that's really unorthodox, but somehow he always comes up with the ball, and he always seems a way to put it in the basket.
Well, everybody needs one of those on the team. Come off the bench, be a little bit electric.
Seminoles back in the 2-3 zone. Hurricanes hit the ball in the middle. Good adjustment by Jermaine Graham.
A little bit of a letdown in the middle. You want to see close out a little quicker. Get that ball off the sideline.
Tough pass across the paint. A.D. Savage to Damian Washington.
Yeah, you may want to see A.D. pull that one back, give a little foul line jumper or a floater, but trying to give that bounce pass. His teammate has nowhere to gather and finish if it gets through.
And that's one of his better shots, too. He has a real good floater in the lane, both with his right and his left hand. I would have liked to see him take that shot as well. Seminoles back on defense. Hurricanes work the ball around, looking for an opening. Reach by Kevin Banks. That's going to be 2 fouls on him.
So when you look at Kevin Banks and the energy that he's bringing in 2 fouls, bringing Skylar back in, looks like you're going to have 2 point guards out there. How's that 2-point guard set been working for Coach Watt?
It's actually been pretty good. They do a good job of pushing the ball, both of them. Good job of both running the offense. It's interesting, the 2 of them. Skylar's a little bit more offensive. AD's a little bit more defensive. So they actually play well together.
Now, of course, I've got to give you a nice little plug and a segue because of the 2-guard set. Quick plug on your team, Coach. As Skylar goes to the hole to get through the hard way. Got a chance for the N1.
Great take. Hesitated on the move first. Lulled him to sleep. So here we have
replay. He's got his head up, keeps the ball in his left hand, a little magic in the air, and all the while he is looking on the ground to make sure it went in, and he finishes that shot through the hard way. Now,
nice
back to
play
what
by
we were
Skylar.
saying, when we talk about 2-guard sets on JV, it's a lot of talk about your backcourt, sir.
Yeah, my backcourt of JoJo Snipes and Malik Huggins right now are playing well. One sophomore, one freshman. They play well together. They're making sure they're sharing the ball, and kind of like what we were talking about here. Either one of them can push the ball, either one of them can start the offense. So it's working really well. It's making it very, very hard for teams to trap us.
Nice game. Last Thursday I was able to witness court vision. Very, very good. Looks like a 30-second timeout being called by the coach.
Well, I'm going to tell you something about what our guys got going on right now. Even the referees in our game that we just completed said, our guys do a real good job of sharing the ball. And that might be a byproduct of having 2 point guards, 2 predominant ball handlers, but they do a good job of finding the open man, moving the ball, making sure the right person gets the shot. So they're playing really, really well. I'm really happy with what we got going on so far, but, you know, like I know, it's a long way to go. It's only 4 games in. We got 20 more games to go.
One of the great things about the way that you look at the sharing of the ball and movement of the ball, the extra pass, working for your teammate. One thing that's sometimes missing, especially in this AAU culture, is the me-by-me fraternity. I got to get my points. I got to get my buckets. But if you're a point guard and you're getting assists, you're helping your team get points, which makes you look better in the end. And that's when basketball is fun for everybody, when everybody gets a chance to score.
Absolutely. Seminoles has transitioned to a 3-2 defense, which doesn't look very successful. They threw the ball right over the top. It's going to be pretty difficult to 3-2 this group right here, with especially with 23 in it. He's very athletic.
Ill-advised turnover.
Yeah, that Savage to Washington combination hasn't worked thus far. It's tried it twice. It resulted in 2 turnovers. Air ball by number 1, Kevin Etienne. Unfortunately, though, Hurricanes will continue to have the ball as it was knocked out on Cameron Green, deflected the ball.
One thing you want to look at is when you have these defensive changes like Coach Washington has been doing, you got to have that same communication. And I think that's where the first basket after the timeout went. Coach saw something and was able to exploit it.
Absolutely. As a result of it, you have another substitution. Sam Washington is checked in for Damian Washington, as Damian Washington was the person that they threw that ball over his head last time. Good move by Cam Green. He'll get an opportunity to shoot too. I tell you, Cam has done a good job this year with his post moves. We still need him to get a little bit quicker, but he's done a good job of getting to the bucket, using his body, and making sure that he gets that contact as he's going to the bucket.
That's what you want from your bigger players. You want them to be able to play through that contact. You want to eat up rebounds, take charges, and when you get the opportunity to down low, put that ball in the hole. And then knocking down 2 foul shots from the big man, that is definitely a luxury.
I guess all the running from yesterday really set in, because they ran a lot for their free throw misses on Friday. Looks like they're taking heed to it.
Absolutely. When you can make those adjustments from game to game and see the success, and it's like putting a puzzle together.
Jumper for Sam Washington. Good looking shot. Sam's really athletic. He's still learning basketball, but he has a really good mid-range shot. He's really athletic, gets off the floor well, runs well. He's got to learn some of the final points of the game, but he's playing really well for us.
Sister had a chance to win a state championship out here, Keita Washington.
There's a block by Sam. Fast break started. Tough look by Alex Taylor. There's a lot of congestion in there.
Now, Alex Taylor, that is your starting quarterback, 4-year varsity, in the mold of a couple of 4-year varsity players that we've had a couple of years back. Ronald Taylor, Trey Alexandria. How is Mr. Taylor doing?
Turnover by Skyler, unforced turnover. Big Taylor's doing well. He was just actually in town a couple of weeks ago over the Thanksgiving break. Got an opportunity to talk to him. Here's a replay of the turnover. NTN finger roll. We can't have turnovers like that. Live ball turnovers lead to fast breaks, but ultimately lead to scores on the other end.
Well, you got a team on the ropes. You got to remember what got you there. One of the things that we talked about before the quarter started is how do you continue to play defense at a high level? Offense is going to fall in place, especially when you have a couple of people like said that's rolling, but you got to make sure that that defensive effort stays on top. And unfortunately, last 2 trips down the line, we weren't able to capitalize and gave up a couple of easy layups.
And I'm going to tell you the other thing that bit us Friday night, turnovers. We had 19 turnovers, 14 in the first half. So I know Coach Watkins is over there really emphasizing the importance of taking care of the basketball. Nothing else matters when you got the ball in your hand. You have to control it and make sure we get a quality look every time down the floor. And like you said, 2 back-to-back possessions with turnovers, both of them lead to points. That's just, you can't have it. You can't win like that.
One thing today's player has to do is really think about how important each possession is. When you get into the analytical part of the game, and I'm not the biggest fan of analyticals. They've got a great place in the game, but when you look at how many possessions are typically in a basketball game and the average, you start thinking about those things. Then you start thinking about how important each possession is and how to negate a win from a loss is really to focus on, am I turning this ball over? Am I really caring about every possession? Am I running the sets that my coach is asking me to? Am I taking shots that I'm supposed to take? Those are all the questions that have to be answered throughout the course of the game.
I agree. You have to value the basketball, you know. For God's sakes, they named the game after it. So we got to make sure that we're taking care of it. That's a tough shot by Alex Taylor with 2 men in his face.
Looks like it took out
injured player too.
number 23.
Hopefully he's all right. You know, that looks like potentially a sprained ankle. Rolled up on the shooter. Just like turnovers, though, we got to get better possessions. That's a 19-foot jumper with two men in his face. That's
2
not
men
a quality
on you,
shot.
1 other person. So if you've got that much gravity, that means at least 2 of the teammates are open.
And I tell you, Alex has done a really good job this year getting to the basket. Like you said, you referred to him playing football. His football mentality really carried over the first couple of games, and he spent some time getting to the bucket, trying to finish, getting fouled. The last thing we want to see is see him revert back to shooting the standstill jumpers all the time. You know, jumpers have a place, but I need him to get to the basket.
Well, when you're one of the biggest people on the floor most nights, you got to think about your advantages, and basketball is a game of advantages, and this is an advantage that Manatee is looking to take over because of their seniors. Skylar knocks down a 3-point from a cross-court pass.
Skylar can really shoot the ball. Coach Watkins calls him the best in the school. The #1 shooter in the school. I think some of his teammates might disagree with that, but knock that one down.
Hey, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. What do the numbers say?
I'll tell you in a couple games. But on that last play, and I'm sure this is probably the reason why he's coming out, they ran a ball screen, and Sam Washington didn't show. He's got to make sure that he's showing and hedging that ball screen to not allow that guy to get around that corner.
There's no reason for you to give up on your teammates and give another team an extra possession, especially when you're trying to fend them off.
And especially when we go over ball screen defense every day in practice. It's the fundamentals, man. You know, like I know, we got to take care of the little things. If we take care of the little things, then the big things take care of themselves. Good steal by Seth Brooks. Fast break, 2-on-1, takes it, and it's a great move.
That's a strong move from Ced Brooks. And again, really impressed at his maturation as a player. You can see someone that has worked on their game over the summer.
Absolutely. You know, that's a heady play. He looked to see whether or not the defender was going to commit. The defender didn't commit, so he continued to go to the glass and scored the bucket. Backdoor pass, 80 lost sight of his man.
When the game slows down for players, that's when it becomes really interesting to watch, especially if you've had a chance to see them for a few years and follow them. And when it finally makes sense, that's when you see what type of player they really can become. So right now, after 3 years, we're seeing the type of player that Ced Brooks can become.
And I can tell you, that's the beautiful thing about coaching high school sports. When you see him come in as a out-of-shape freshman, nice move by Skyler. Took his man to the hole. If they're going to check in with that guy, I'm pretty sure coach is going to call 14 for the remainder of the half and see if he can't get in the lane.
And the one thing that you want to do is just remember when you're rolling.
There's another
got away with the goaltend on that one. I believe Falls grabbed the rim.
And we also got away with a poor show. I think Cam might have momentarily tweaked his ankle because he didn't show on that ball screen. Luckily, number 3 missed the jumper. But like I was saying a few minutes ago about Ced, came in a little bit as an out-of-shape freshman, worked on his game, got in shape. Now you can really see the maturation process and his ability to be able to get where he needs to get to on the offensive end. Good pass by Luke Paul. Unfortunately, Skyler couldn't knock it down.
Now, being old school, I know he's out there, he's having a good time. We're up by 20. I never want to see anybody smile after shooting the air ball.
Well, you know, the ironic thing about that is that kid literally smiles all the time.
Right,
and
right,
I know
right.
you know him.
Yes, sir. I know.
You, when I first started coaching him, it was so frustrating for me because, like you said, he'd make a turnover or he'd make a bad play and he'd still be smiling. And I had to get to the point, like, what are we smiling about? And they let me know that's just who he is.
That's just him.
Keeps that same emotion on his face all the time. We got a break. Looks like we got another run out for Ced. Great finish. Great finish.
Now, Ced again, when the game slows down for you, he looks for the ball. He moves at a pace where his teammate can still deliver the pass in step, surveys where the defense is, and then plays as if he's going to get the bucket. Not worried about the contact. As a freshman, you would see a three-point shot.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't even have taken it in the lane. Would have been posted up or planted outside that three-point line.
Absolutely. Good help side defense. Got to get that backside rebound, though. Fortunately, we got to travel.
He drug his pivot foot. And that's Carter Bendinghouse. He's a senior.
I tell you, some of us are doing a better job making sure that they're in that lane on those dribble drives. Making sure that they're cutting them off, got a body, walling up, contesting the shot. 19 seconds remaining in the half. We're up 42-18. I'm sure we're looking for one possession. I would almost guarantee you they're running 14 and see if Skyler can't get in the lane past this guy. Got the curl, three-pointer for Ced, knocks it down. Great execution of last-second shot. Great execution. Ced's really rolling.
Coach was able to run his set, and because he was able to watch his team and make the right adjustments, that corner three is open again.
And that's a 20-point half for Ced. Can't play much better. Well, we've reached now.
So that's the end of the first half, folks, with the score 45-18 for the whole team Seminoles. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll be right back. You're watching Seminole Basketball on SETV Sports.
Here we are back at Buck Arena. Ready to start the second half. Seminoles up 45-18 over the Manatee Hurricanes. Let's do some score checks. Cedric Brook had a phenomenal first half. He's leading the way with 20 points. Skylar's got 10. Cam Green right now is coming up with, he's got 4 and 5 rebounds. So pretty even first half as far as the scoring is concerned. And I'll tell you one thing about the Seminoles this year is I think that's going to be pretty much the norm because we got a bunch of guys that can score the basketball.
The good thing is when you have that senior leadership and they're not looking just for their points. You told me the record last year, other team a lot, us a little bit, and when you have a record that is really disappointing, you feel like you wasted a season, you come back with a different mentality, and that's what you're seeing from particularly this backcourt and a couple of your forwards.
Seminoles start back up in man. Let's see if we do a better job on that ball screen. Nice take by Jermaine Graham. Alex has got to do a better job of staying in front of him, keeping him out of that baseline.
Good to see him back. He had an injury before halftime, and you never want to see a competitor go out with an injury, so for him to walk that off and come in and score his first 2 points shows that he's feeling good.
Yeah, Cam's got to get that ball up. He's got to be bigger, faster, and stronger and get that ball up. Nice post up. Block shot.
It's too far. He's under the basket. He's got to realize that.
Again, that goes back to what we've been telling him for 3 years now. You got to make some of those moves. Have got to be quicker.
Yes.
I know he's strong and he's powerful, but he's got to get to the point where he's making that move a little bit quicker.
One of the things Cam is doing, just watching him for this first half and the start of the second half, is he's making moves to dislodge the other player and not necessarily score the basketball. That's a 1-on-4 fast break,
nice
going underneath for the reverse layup. It's 22 points for Ced Brooks.
That's a nice drive. He waited to see what the defense gave him, made his move, and he burst side to avoid the shot blocker. Great job. Seminoles still backing man-to-man. Good job cutting off the baseline. Somebody reached in, got an elbow though. Got a wrist.
Typically during halftime, I don't like to go and tell players how they're doing and what I'm seeing, because especially if we're doing the game, you want to remain as objective as possible, even if you have ties to the program. It is SCTV, so we're biased, but you want to call a good game for some of the Hurricane fans that are watching. But I'm really happy with the game that I'm seeing from Mr. Ced Brooks. He's playing a phenomenal game, and it's on the offense and the defensive end, and he's really leading his team.
Yeah, he's locked in tonight. You can tell he's focused. Tell he didn't want to have a lag from Friday night's last-second loss, so he's playing really well.
So when you take a loss personal and you lead your team back, you got a couple days to think about it over the weekend. There's that quick move that we were looking for from Cam. He didn't wait on that one.
Great
nice
pass by
drop
Skylar.
off.
Nice drop-off pass. He drew the defense, dropped it off to Cam. Cam finished. Pretty good ball movement by the Hurricanes.
These boys move the ball well.
Ends up in a 3. That's the third three-pointer for Carter Bendenhouse. We got to make sure that we're finding shooters.
That was a little too far. I don't think he's strong enough to make that pass across court. There's not many people that can do that off the dribble.
And not with his left hand either. That's 3 fouls on Kevin Banks. He's probably going to have to go to the bench and have to bring somebody in that can bring the intensity. Kevin's kind of like our glue guy. He's normally where he's supposed to be all the time. He's long, he's athletic. So that's going to be a tremendous loss.
One thing that I like with Jermaine is he plays above the rim. He's not looking to dunk. He's looking to finger roll. You know, finger rolling is in vogue again.
This is true. A lot of young boys are watching Iceman George Gervin, trying to figure out, because the one thing he could do is what?
Finger roll.
Finger roll. Nice kick out. Does he got another one?
All right. At this point, we got to start thinking about what's his high.
That's a great question, but I tell you what, whatever he lands on tonight, I'm sure it's going to be it. Because he's rolling right now on a 25-point game, and I can't remember Ced hitting 25. Let's see if he can't get 40.
One thing that you want to focus on, though, is just keeping his head in the game. They're talking, referees letting them know, You know, we don't want you to get tacked up. This is your gym. You're rolling. They can't stop you. Don't stop yourself.
That's it. And you know, like I know, he's
Now
gonna
they're still talking, and the referee is going to follow him. Look for a foul to get called, a double foul just to clean it up.
You know, like I know, he's going to try to get in his head. Like you said, he's got a 25-point game going. Don't look like they can stop him anytime soon.
You can't stop him physically. You better stop him mentally.
Try to stop him mentally.
And that's what they're trying to do. So, being a senior, once again, you want said to show some leadership out there.
But
we want you to be emotional, but we also want you to win the right way.
And I think he's grown enough where he's not going to let that get into his head. I think that might have been a heat check.
Now there's the talking again, and there's the text. We said it was coming.
He said can't fall victim to that, man. He can't fall victim to the taunting, to the talking. He can't fall victim. He's got to realize he's not just our physical leader. He's our emotional leader.
And we want to try to get in his head. That is the tech on set. All right, so
I think it was a double tech.
Was it a double tech? Okay.
I think it was a double tech on both of them.
Well, that is the right call. If it's a double tech, you want to make sure that they leave it out there and they play the game.
Yeah, but see, the really bad part is that's 3 fouls on set. Technical counts as a personal foul, so that's 3 fouls on
Absolutely. Now, for said and all intents and purposes, you got a career night going. You're shooting efficiently, and now you have to take a seat. And there's a name that we haven't had a chance to call now tonight.
Yep. Number 24, Jermaine Ginyard is checked in the game. Jermaine's a junior. Hasn't played very much this year, but I guess coach is looking for maybe a spark. Jermaine's got some skills. It's always going to be determined on how hard he plays. That's a pretty bad turnover by Skyler right there. Got to make a better pass in that situation.
A couple of other new players on the floor. You got number 22, John Ferguson, that's checked in.
Also, junior, had a great year last year on the junior varsity team. That's a travel by Mr. Benninghouse. Next time, he might want to take his luggage.
And the broadcast started.
Good job breaking the press.
Nice crossover.
That
would have been an easy bucket if Alex wanted to run hard.
Yeah, that too. Or I think he should have dumped that one to Cam. Cam had the angle. Probably could have made a better choice there.
And you got to reward your big when they run.
And
Cam gives us a three-pointer. Was on target.
I mean, he's hit a couple of those in practice. I won't say that's his money shot or anything like that, but he did do a good job and I was getting ready to say a great defensive play.
He tried too hard to sell it.
Cam didn't like it.
He was leaning back before.
Cam didn't like it based on his face. He had the Whoopi Goldberg face, as if it just couldn't be. But we get it back on the steal. Not liking Johnny Ferguson with the ball in the open court. Alex got to be a little bit smarter there. I know he was trying to start the break, but we got to know who we're passing the ball to.
KYP, know your personnel.
Absolutely. And Johnny Ferguson in the open court on a fast break wouldn't be my first choice. I'd rather have him finishing. He does a great job getting to the basket and finishing, but not necessarily on a fast break like that.
Great pass ahead isn't always a great pass. And this is the part where the game starts to get a little ugly. And if it starts to get ugly, we want to make sure that, again, we go back to the things that got us here. You want to look at your defensive opportunities. You want to look at slowing down your turnovers. And you don't want to give a team like this a chance at the foul line, even though that one went a little wide left.
Luke Paul's in for John Ferguson. It just feels like, even though the game is, a 24-point game, it just feels like the momentum is shifting a little bit, and Manatee is trying to claw back in it. There's another block. I thought that one might have been a charge call. But again, the guy who shoots the free throw tracks down the loose ball. That's just hustle. That's just energy.
He wants it more than anybody else. He just missed 2 foul shots, and instead of sulking about it, he went after it and did something about it. And you got to respect those plays. And the 50-50 plays are the plays that can win games.
Fortunately for us, he's a pretty poor free throw shooter. He's missed 3 of them pretty bad. So with that being said, we got to box out here. Get this loose ball.
Haven't seen somebody miss 4 in a row since Nick Anderson.
Now that's a great reference. Choking in the playoffs against MJ and the Bulls.
That would change the trajectory of his career, didn't it?
It sure did. His confidence was shot from that point forward. All right, I think Coach is rolling the dice a little bit. He put Seth Brooks back in.
You need to generate your offense from somewhere. And even if Seth isn't the one scoring, the threat and his gravity, that's Jermaine Abraham with a big block.
Jermaine Graham, I think it is. I think it's Graham.
Jermaine Graham, okay.
He volleyball lambasted that one. Now there's the offensive foul call that we've been looking for. Good job by A.D. Savage standing in and taking that one in the chest.
How'd you like that last name in high school? You'd love that, wouldn't you?
What, Savage?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you know, played like a Savage. So
it would have been.
It would have been appropriate.
Would have been a problem. It would have worked, right?
Yes, sir. Good.
So all you guys that were on the team with Coach Gilmer, and you hear him say he played like a Savage, send a tweet out, let us know.
Another turnover, unforced turnover by Savage. We've got to do a better job of making sure that we're taking care of the ball. Good rebound by Luke Paul.
You got to think, that's about gravity. Having said back in the game, brings 2 people out to guard him at that 3-point line, which leaves Luke Paul open for that rebound and the putback.
That's a very valid point. Like you said, sometimes it's just about presence. Okay, they look a little bit confused defensively right now. Hopefully we can regroup and make sure we know who has who.
Not the same effort that we had earlier this first half.
But again, keeping them out the lane. This is an interesting matchup. See if Jermaine can keep him in front of him. Not a bad job. I wouldn't say the best defensive job, but kept him out of the lane.
Now, what defense were we in? It looked like somebody was playing man. Other people were playing zone.
It looked like it was man-to-man.
Okay.
But unfortunately, some of the guys are playing zone when they playing man-to-man.
That could lead to a few turnovers.
Yeah,
or an open shot like we just saw.
Absolutely. And some problems. Hence why I believe we had some substitutions.
Mass substitutions from Coach. You got 2 players with 3 fouls out. Still 2 minutes left in the third quarter, so really a big gamble.
The last foul for the Hurricanes was on number 1, Kevin Etienne, and he has 3 fouls as well, so he had to go to the bench. That's the second foul on Jermaine Graham. Maybe we can get him in foul trouble as he looks like he's the majority of the offense tonight. One-on-one drive by Sed.
Got his hands up.
Pretty good defense by Jermaine Graham.
He's not putting his hands on him, and he's giving Sed the opportunity to not have a chance to shoot over him because he's long and he's extending his height.
And the one thing about our 1-4 offense, although the primary ball handler is supposed to beat their man off the dribble, there's cutters on that backside. Too often times we don't look for those cutters, though.
And speaking of cutters, there's the way it's supposed to look. Nice drop down the lane. May have gotten away with the travel there.
This would be a good time for us to run a set. Get another wide open shot for Sed. Good rebound, and 1. Missed the and 1 opportunity, but it'll be going to the free throw line for 2.
So, being the emotional leader, got a nice shrug, got the technical, kind of calmed you down a little bit, so you got to be able to put it back together. Great start to that would be knocking down 2 foul shots. proud to announce that Kaiser University of Sarasota is once again a business partner of SCTV. This is the 13th year that Kaiser supported the television program for Southeast High School. At Kaiser University Sarasota campus, you can get the training you need to pursue a new career in the fields of business, criminal justice, education, healthcare, information technology, law, and much more. They offer associate, bachelor's, and graduate degree programs. The Sarasota campus also offers a culinary arts and a baking and pastry program. You can find out more about what Kaiser has to offer.
We're back set, was able to hit one of the two free throws. Another dribble drive by number 10, Alex Rodriguez. And unfortunately, we fouled him. That foul was on number 10, Kevin Banks. And the scoreboard has Kevin, oh, now they've changed it. That's 4 fouls on Kevin Banks. Surely he's going to have to come out, probably sit out for the remainder, definitely remainder of the third quarter and probably a good portion of the fourth. Mr. Rodriguez is having his struggles at the free throw line.
He hasn't made an adjustment yet. As a coach, I'd call him over, have him take a step over to the right because everything's been off to the left.
Banks said got a little lucky on this one. That would have been an opportunity for him to hit the ball ahead, but he tried to dribble through the trap. Fortunately for us, we got the foul call.
One thing about basketball, it's a game of consistency. If you're consistently doing the right things, you're going to see a chain of events work in your favor. We've seen really sloppy play defensively, and it's led to really sloppy offense for this third quarter. Still leading by 20 points.
That foul was on number 2, Malcolm Claremont. Hits his 4th foul. Says shooting a 1-and-1. He knocks that one down.
So during our last foul shot was said, we were able to talk about Kaiser and their 13 years with the program and just supporting SCTV. If anybody wants more information about Kaiser, you can go to their website, kaiseruniversity.edu. Once again, that's kaiseruniversity.edu.
Said went 2 for 2 from that trip from the line. So he's doing a good job knocking down his free throws this evening. Seminoles back in man-to-man. Sam Washington on the ball. Good job fighting through the screen. Helping recover. He got a good shot. Great rebound by Alex Taylor over top of 2 Hurricanes. This opportunity, great look by Alex Taylor. 2 points for Cam Brooks. Looked like the quarterback that we know him to be on that one.
I think playing football was allowing Alex to get a little more physical.
Decent contest by Sam. That's a tough card for him. They're running Carter Bendenhouse off for a few flare screens, and he got over 2 of them, but that third one kind of caught him.
I think we talked about that earlier. When you got to get through 3 of those screens, by the time you get to your man, and it counts.
Good offensive rebound and put back by Sam Washington. Great job being on the boards. So at the end of the third quarter, we have a 61-38 score for the Seminoles. They're doing a real good job making sure that their offense is strong and defense in that third quarter. And if you haven't done so, you should like the SCTV Facebook page. You can find it on facebook.com/SEHS television. Not only will you get reminders and direct links to all the events that Southeast Television broadcasts live, but you will also get notices of other activities that the fine young broadcasters at SCTV are involved in. And while you're at it, share the Facebook link with your friends and family. That's facebook.com/SEHS television. This information is also available on our website at sctv.news.
Now, they do a lot of great things with this television network for SCTV. If you haven't had a chance to look at some of their YouTube videos and some of their live broadcasts, they broadcast all of the football games live every Friday night. They take that show on the road for some games as well. In addition to that, they go to national competitions, and at those national competitions, they're walking home with national championships.
They sure do win a lot.
Had an opportunity to go to the award ceremonies the last 4 or 5 years to see at the end of the year, some of the awards and some of the videos and PSAs, all the things that we see are all student ran, so it's a pretty amazing program. And we got great hands that it's in right now, but we would be remiss if we don't mention and say hello to Mr. Sanders for all the great work that he's done with the program over the years.
Yeah, surely he's watching. And I tell you, as a member of the Southeast faculty, people ask me all the time about SCTV and how our productions are ran. And it's a true compliment to the hard work of Mr. Amanda Clark, and as you mentioned, Mr. Mike Sanders. They do a great job with SCTV. Hurricanes on a fast break. Looks like that's number 10, Alex Rodriguez again.
Alex is very active.
Ready.
Very active. A lot of the good fortuitous plays that Manatee's been involved in has happened because of Alex.
And he's done a really good job getting to the free throw line.
Just hasn't connected with a high percentage.
Offensive rebound, I believe that was Alex Taylor. Skyler has the ball. Looks like the Hurricanes are back in the man-to-man defense. Let's see what the Seminoles are going to run. Looks like they're running their flare play. Good drop by Seth Brooks. And he'll get to the free throw line for 2. See, that's a product of having a good jump shot. He's knocked down a couple jumpers tonight. So on that curl play, he was able to give him a pump fake, get 23 Jermaine Graham up in the air, drive it hard. Got fouled by number 12, by number 12, Brian King.
When Seb puts his mind to it, being able to put everything together and knock down the jump shots, like you said, it gives you an opportunity to open up some driving lanes. The great part about that is nothing has been forced. I don't think we've seen more than 3 forced plays by either team, so definitely a product of great coaching.
So far, he's working on a 28-point night. He missed the second of the 2 free throws. Somebody lost their man. Cam Green got back to contest, but
Mr. Graham was able to knock down that contested jumper. You would have wanted to see him take that jumper earlier. It's 2 points all the same for the Hurricanes. 62-42. Nice pass ahead. Cam takes his time and is able to drop in 2.
Another great pass by Alex Taylor. Diagonal pass in the press break is normally there, especially if you run the floor and you hit it ahead. So that's a great job by Alex.
And that's the strength that we're talking about. Skyler wasn't able to make that play, but he actually was able to, and that's, again, you're the point guard. You're a point guard of the football team when you're the quarterback, and you got to have that same vision even if you're not playing the point guard position on the floor.
Offensive rebound by Alex Rodriguez. Once again, fortuitous bounce. He was able to put it in for 2. Here's Sam on his set on the drive. That's a 30-point night for Seth Brooks. Surely that's his career high. So he's working on something that he hasn't done in the Southeast Seminole uniform. Seminoles go to 3-2. Poor rotation there.
Carter Beddinghouse is quietly putting together a very nice game. Pretty close to that 20-point mark for him.
Yeah, he's working on 18 points. Good recovery by Cam Green. Fouled on the wrist. Looks like he'll go to the free throw line for 2. That foul was on number 10, Alex Rodriguez.
Now, when you're running that flat play and you've got Skyler taking the action from the top of the key, when he drove in, it may have been an opportunity for him just to keep that one for himself. Cam wasn't really looking, but he was able to recover, and now we've got a chance for another 2 points. You got to remember what gets us here, guys. Making that extra pass, but also that pass has got to be on time.
That's Cam's 11th point. Let's see if he can't put in number 12.
So we got a 30-point game for Seth Brooks, and he's on the bench. I think that may be the most that we'll see from him tonight. Quite a performance.
And hopefully up 22, the guys that's in the game can maintain the lead, and he won't have to come back. We're back in the 3-2. Good job cutting off the drive.
Parents that are listening, this is a public service announcement for you. as long as your kid that comes in can continue to play at a high level, we don't have to keep the same players in.
That is a great public service announcement. Cam with the whoopsie doodle, he would have been better off just to go strong. That's the time where he needs to lower that shoulder, put it in somebody's chest, and finish high above the rim. Anytime a guy that big is
now you gotta stop. You gotta stop with that one.
Well, you know,
you did
finish
say high above the rim.
Finish high above the rim, not jump above the rim.
All right. You're giving Cam a lot of credit on that one. That was a block by Sam Washington.
Sam Washington, like I said earlier, he's really athletic.
Very close to a goaltend.
Very close to a goaltend. Hey, we're at home, so we're going to take that one.
Yeah. Once again, you did say SETV.
Yes, we did. And we are at Southeast High School, so. But you just love you love the energy, you love the hustle. It looks like a technical foul was called.
So we got a technical foul, and that had to have been because of the complaint. You know, there was a goaltending called earlier, and they weren't able to get that goaltending call. So you see a little protesting and asking the referee what's going on. The referee is explaining on both sides of the court because there were a lot of questions about that. The good thing is that it's not a 20-point shot. So as long as Southeast continues to play and limit their mistakes, should be able to walk away with one.
Alex knocks down both free throws, which is a good sign. Like I said, we had a tough time shooting free throws the other night, so hopefully we've gotten rid of that. Ball's knocked out by number 4, JT Falls. Another transfer, I believe he transferred from Braden and River.
So we got to be smart. When you pick up your dribble so high away from your team and that double comes, making that pass without your team moving is not going to help.
There's a three-pointer by Damon Washington. Rebound by Alex Taylor. Missed layup.
Now,
still fighting for the ball.
Alex would have been better served keeping that above the rim.
I agree. 2 more points for Alex Rodriguez. Quietly, he's put together a nice game tonight.
For the lack of free throw shooting that he has, it hasn't stopped him from finishing with a high percentage at the basket. Everything's been point blank.
Nice pass by Alex to Sam Washington for 2 more. That's Sam's 5th and 6th point of the evening. I don't think I have an accurate count, but Alex has to have about 6 or 7 assists tonight.
He has been knocking down shots to a tune where he's bringing some gravity now that you got Seth Brooks out, and that's allowing him to use his court vision. Being a quarterback, you can see the field. You got less players on the basketball team, so it should be a little easier for him.
Another substitution. Skyler comes back in for Sam Washington. Sam's had a nice outing tonight. He ran the floor well, he's defended, missed a few defensive assignments, but his hustle plays have made up for a lot of things.
One thing that you always want to see, specifically when it comes down to your bench players, is consistent effort. And one thing that I've seen from Sam tonight is he's ran the floor and made sure that he was a nuisance, sometimes sticking their best player, and then just being there for rebounds and knocking down shots that were in his repertoire.
I know that one is going to get under Coach Watkins' skin. Can't give up an offensive rebound on the free throw. Never on the free throw. Somebody has to block out everybody on the free throw lane to get the ball back.
Hopefully, got an advantage. If you just block everyone out, you can pick the ball up off the ground. But you got to have effort to do that.
And unfortunately, it turns into 2 points by the Hurricanes. Jermaine Graham knocks down another 2-point shot.
A little out of control. Got to get the ball up a little quicker. See if we can find some good movement.
Good defense
all right,
by Skyler.
Skyler's going to get them into their set.
There's that infamous 1-4 again. You got to make sure that we're giving that ball up. Turnover by Keegan Sylvans.
Mr. Rodriguez.
21. We gotta secure the basketball once we possess it. Out of control by AD Savage.
And this is the point of the game where you got to think 3 minutes left, 72-54 is really not out of reach.
And see, the thing about it is you got to value the basketball. Every possession is the game. I don't care what the score is. Every possession is the game. And when we're up 18 with 3 minutes to go, it's more important for us to pull that ball out, get a quality look, run some clock, and make them do what we want them to do.
You got to think that last shot, some people in the stands will look at it as a miss, a wild shot. You know, to the trained basketball eye, that's a turnover.
Absolutely.
An unforced turnover.
Unforced
unnecessary.
Turnover. And as a point guard, AD's got to do a better job of recognizing. There's another rebound off the free throw.
With Cam out, we're losing the battle on the rebounds.
What turns into 2 points for the Hurricanes. Again, it's the little things every time. Keegan Selvins in the game turns the ball over again.
They're going to call a block on that one. And a
technical foul.
For protesting.
So that's a twofold. Not only do we, actually threefold, not only do we turn the ball over, we get a foul on the block, and we get a technical. So now they get 2 shots and the ball.
Let's add a quad to that. We're in double bonus the rest of the way. You don't want to be in double bonus when you're up 15. You were up 20. Now you're up 15.
And like you said, 2 minutes and 44 seconds is a lot of time. That's a lot of time. So much, we had to put Cedric back in the game.
Anticipate. That's 5 fouls on number 12.
That's Luke Paul.
So Luke Paul is out. Looks like a student favorite. 0-0.
Ariel De La Rosa.
He's got a cheering section.
He does, and you'll see why. He plays extremely hard. He may not be the most skilled basketball player, but you're going to get 100% effort every single minute he's out there on the floor. He actually goes to Beacon Academy, which is a prep school in Sarasota, so he goes there and plays for us. Basketball-wise, he's his second year, he's a senior, and overall, he's just a great kid.
So people are saying, why is he getting 4 shots? So he's got 2 shots for the technical, 2 shots for the foul.
And now we're at 11-point game.
So
2 minutes ago, it was a 22-point lead. Now it's an 11-point game, and Manatee has all the momentum. How easily basketball games turn around by just a few simple plays.
Now this is where it gets interesting. Double bonus for both teams the rest of the way. You got an opportunity to put points on the clock, and put points on the board with the clock stop. And it looks like we may have a couple more.
Got another scuffle, chatter, talking up. We got to be smarter than that.
Now, this never goes good for the home team. When you have those type of emotions, referees are already looking at
and we're winning.
Play.
And we're winning. Now we're getting away from what we're doing.
We got to check and see what this call is.
Getting away from what we're doing.
The referees are having a conference.
We got to make sure emotionally.
Sending everybody to the bench. Now, this is where they're talking about cleaning this play up.
Absolutely.
Right? They don't want to go into overtime. They want to see this game end. They want to see it end clean. They don't want to see anybody get hurt or suspended for a game or 2. So at this point, they're going to go over and explain what's going on to both coaches.
I think someone just got ejected. I think maybe number 1 from Manatee.
If they gave him another tech, then he is going to be ejected because he got a tech earlier in the scuffle was said. So with Cedric's at the line, that is telling us that more than likely we've got number 1, Kevin Etienne, a senior, very emotional, being ejected.
It's those type of plays on both sides where composure has to come into play. You got to think, what are you doing? Is it going to hurt or help your team? And then unfortunately, in this particular case, Mr. Etienne's emotions got the best of him, and it hurt his team.
As a senior, you got to know better than that. Now, he may not have put a lot of points up, but he was in the right place for a few rebounds and made defensive assignments. Being able to stop Said on a couple of plays made him feel good, but you got to think, and he's still talking on his way out. This is where Said has got to control his emotions as he goes through the hard way.
Said's on a roll right now. But like you said, he's got to make sure that he's controlling his emotions, making sure that it stays on the basketball court, and go ahead and close the door on these guys, get these last 2 minutes and 13 seconds out of here, and let's get out of here with a victory.
That's another 3 points for Said Brooks, getting closer and closer to that elusive 40-point game.
Shot by Mr. Alex Rodriguez. Offensive rebound by Destin Falls. John Ferguson fouls him.
Now this is where it gets interesting. You got Cam coming back in, taking out crowd favorite double zero, Ariel De La Rosa. You got to be able to say his name right if he's getting that many cheers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's one of them Spanish names. It just.
Ariel.
Yeah, exactly. Ariel.
There it is, Ariel.
De La Rosa. Got to roll the R, baby. Got to roll the R.
You got you.
Mr. Falls completes a three-point play. And again, this game's not over. It's a 13-point game with
a
minute and 50 seconds.
Gives them 10.
That was really. We got really lucky.
But
Cam with the ball. Again, they scramble. Everybody's on the floor.
Our referees are going to be in here quick. It's a jump ball, and the ball's going to be going the way of the Hurricanes.
It's a tough play. That's a tough play. But once again, where's the we have to play with more poise and composure. We don't even have to shoot right now. All we got to do is run our offense, make them play defense, and we'll get the shot that we want.
Every time the ball is out of our hands, it gives them an opportunity. In addition to that, you really got to look at, there's no shot clock in high school basketball.
Exactly.
So you're not rushed. You shouldn't be in a rush for anything. If you're in a rush, you're just doing what the other team's allowing you to do. And they're moving that ball over. They're looking for that open three.
Got it in possession. Again, emotions run high. We got to be smarter than this. Technical on Cam, technical on Mr. Falls. We got to be smarter than that. We did a great job running almost 40 seconds off the play clock. Now we got to
block his shot.
Yeah. We ran 40 seconds off the play clock. We didn't get the rebound, but like you said, you knock it out of bounds. No reason to get a technical right there. Just block the shot and play defense.
You got an opportunity to close the door on somebody. You got to really close the door on somebody. You want to see your seniors be leaders in this instance. Huddle everybody up and really get them to rally around the cause, which is a W coming off of a heartbreaking loss last Friday to a district opponent in Bayshore.
Oh, he fouled, but didn't get the call. Good block by Kevin Banks. In the right place at the right time.
And let us go to work.
And then the other thing we got to think about, too, is remember that we are in the bonus.
Absolutely.
So we take our time, we make them foul. It's good catch by Kevin Banks and a strong finish. There's a wild move by 23 Jermaine Graham, but we fouled him.
In the double bonus and in the way that the referee's been calling this lately, anything that looks like contact is going to get called. That's going to extend this 47 seconds out.
And I guess I must have been wrong earlier because that's number 4 and said. I think I said he had 4 earlier, so glad to see that that's number 4 and he didn't foul out. Jermaine Graham's back at the line, hit the first one, shooting the second one. He makes 2. So again, we're back to a 13-point game, 47 seconds. Seminoles are up 79-66. Not sure why the Hurricanes aren't pressing right now.
And I'm not sure why Skylar wasn't picking the ball up right away. This isn't a situation where we don't want the clock to stop.
Come on, we don't have to rush. Knock that down. Again, we don't have to rush. Not a bad shot. Don't foul. We get a turnover.
Now, if we can hold on for 26 seconds, and I believe Coach Watkins is emphatically saying we don't need to shoot.
And that's exactly what we just told them. They either going to trap us or foul us, or take the ball from them. Good defense by Skylar, knocking the ball out of bounds. 16 seconds left. I know what, although we're going to get out of here with the win, but I guarantee you Coach Watkins is not going to be happy about the number of times we turn the ball over and how we close this game out. We went from a 22 or 23-point win to now only being up 13.
Basketball is a game of halves, and while we won the first half handily, you got to look at the adjustments that the coach for Manatee made, because his team was a different team in the second half, and I'll be interested to see what this second game looks like. You guys play them over there later on this season, right?
We do. We play them over there mid-January. So, as you said, they didn't lay down. We knew they weren't going to lay down, so they fought hard. They fought back.
Got an opportunity to knock down and put a blemish on an undefeated team's record, which is pretty fantastic. It's the end of the game with the final score, 79-69. We're going to give you our final thoughts about the game, and then our next broadcast is going to be Thursday, December 14th. That's girls basketball versus their arch rivals, St. Pete Lakewood. Coach, are you going to be doing that one with me? I think I'll be back for that.
I do believe I'll be here with you. So, I'm telling you, we got to come up with a name for this show.
All right.
Figure that out.
Well, Coach, you can get back to socials and have people submit, so we'll know what we can do, and maybe we can get a logo up next time.
Absolutely.
Something like that. I think that'll be good.
Well, final thoughts for the game. Although we won by 10 points, I think we still have some things we need to do to shore up that second half, eliminate turnovers, and make sure that we close the game out with the same amount of poise that we had in the first half and the second half.
It's early enough in the season that you can take a win like this and you can learn a lot of things about your team. One thing that we learned is we got to make sure that our seniors are emotional leaders and in control 100% of the game. Not when things are going right for us only. We got to do it when it's going right and when we're having some adversity, and that's going to be huge.
Yes,
when you look at the rest of the season, Coach, what are some of the tests that we have coming up?
Well, we got a test tomorrow, Braden River. You know, they're no slouches. They're going to come prepared, ready to play. And then again, on Friday, we got a district game against Lakewood. So we got to come ready to play. And the way that we ended up last year, every game's a tough game. So we got to come ready to play every single night, no matter who it is that we're playing. Well, I see Coach Floyd Watkins making his way over to the table. We're going to put a headset on him and get some final thoughts, and then we'll end up Backcourt.
All right, so we're going to make some room in for Coach Watkins to come and have a seat.
Yeah, he's shaking hands and kissing babies for the crowd. It's a good crowd tonight. We had a lot of people in here for the game, so that's always good to see. Crosstown rivals, and making sure that it was a packed gymnasium tonight. So here we have Coach Watkins here.
All right, so is that ringing on the air? If it's on the air, okay. Well, we'll go through it with it anyway. So, Coach Watkins, can you hear us?
Yes.
All right, Coach Watkins. Tough game. Made it pretty easy. Offense was rolling. A career night from Ced Brooks. I believe he finished with.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, unplug his.
Yeah. Use that one.
That's still plugged in. Okay.
Okay, so as we were saying, first half, textbook ran the way that you needed to on a career night and a career half from said Brooks. Second half, a little choppy, a little sloppy. What were some of the adjustments that Manatee made that may have made it a little difficult for us?
Well, the thing about Manatee is the way they play, they're going to continue to give maximum effort regardless. They're going to continue to run their sets. They're going to continue to crash the glass. They're going to continue to do all the things that challenge you as a basketball team. Just because you have a decent half against them, as you can see, they had 18 points at halftime and scored 51 points in the second half. So they hadn't give up. They weren't a team that was just out there saying, okay, we're going to fight regardless of the score. They really believed that they were going to win the game, and in my opinion, they came close to doing so.
Well, I'll tell you, it looked as if you were going to give Said a little bit of a rest, and well-deserved. 36 points in a high school game, 20 and a half. You're looking at somebody that wasn't forcing any shots. He was doing everything that he needed to do to put his team on his back as an emotional leader. When it starts to get a little chippy, what are some of the things that you say on the sideline to make sure that they stay in control?
A variety of things. I think the main idea, though, is we want to stay focused on the object at hand, because there are a lot of distractions that take place in the course of a basketball game. However, the most fundamental element of it is to continue to play the game for the full duration of the 32 minutes, because all the distraction is a distraction. Anything that prevents you from performing at your optimum is a problem. So anything that creeps into your mind like that, you want to eliminate it and focus on what your objective is at hand.
So
I can't hear you, Coach.
So he's saying with 2 more games coming up this week, you've got tomorrow against Braden River and then Friday, district rival Lakewood. What things can you take from this game to prepare your team for the rest of the week?
Fundamentally speaking, is having a firm understanding of what works and what does not. Our defense in the first half with the help side and limiting them to 1 shot, that's what works. Not boxing out, allowing them to shoot until they make it, not help side of defense, those things don't work. So understanding what has been successful moving forward, and also shore up the areas that we came up short.
We had a lot of great looks at the team and the future of the program. Looks like a successful season is underway. I believe you would call this one the redemption tour after last year, right, Coach?
Yeah, again, we call it a lot of things.
Well, we want to use the TV-ready things right now.
Right. It's more about not only a redemption, a revival, and a revival that happens daily. We want to renew ourselves daily. We want to become a better basketball team than we were tonight, and that is tomorrow. We're scheduled to be a better basketball team, and that's what I expect. And moving forward, that's the goal, that's the plan, that's the objective.
Well, great job coaching tonight, sir. Good luck for the rest of the year. I know we've got some more broadcasts that are going to be happening. And for anybody that's still out there, Jacksonville, tomorrow, the return of Ronald Taylor. He'll be playing against State College of Florida, so you'll be able to have 2 of your players that were very close to you during your run at this program, a part of that 2016 district team with Trey Alexandria and Ronald Taylor in the same gym again at State College of Florida.
Oh, that'll be exciting. I got to work. Otherwise, I'd be there.
Otherwise, you'd be there?
Otherwise, I'd be there.
We'll give you updates. We'll let you know.
Absolutely.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you so much for sitting with us. We know you got to go and let the team go and give them some words of encouragement before they get renewed tomorrow. But as always, wonderful job. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. And get Gilmer back tomorrow, so that'll be exciting. You know,
there you go.
We probably could have scored 100 if we had Gilmer.
If you had Gilmer over there, well, oh man, they're trying to break up the team already. Before we get all real ready for ESPN, huh?